Hey, how's it going? So, we've reached the end of the classic reviews. Even a while back I looked at Sonic 4. The real Sonic 4, Sonic Mania. So, Sonic Superstars came out last year, so I wanted to see if this game is better than Sonic Mania. That's why I thought it'd be a good idea to bring the Saint of Time here with me.
Oh, why another 2D Sonic game, man?
Because I thought it'd be fun. It also says we can play up to 4 people.
Yeah, but we keep doing the 2D ones. Why can't we do one of the 3D ones, like Sonic Heroes? How about one of the Sonic Adventure games? It's like really fun. How about Lost World? Very underrated. I really liked it. Or, I know I'm in the minority, Sonic 06. This is freaking good, dude.
Come on, it'll be fun. It also has your girl Amy in it.
Okay, you know what? That's tempting. But what about Sonic Frontiers? Did you finish that one? Bro, come on, man. You've been delaying this one for so long. Ever since I interrupted you with the Blasto one, is it my fault that...
With the success of Sonic Mania, everyone thought a sequel was inevitable. Then we went 6 years with nothing. The only thing was Sonic Mania Plus, and that was it. The Mania devs formed Evening Star and made their own 3D game. So what the hell? Sonic Mania 2 isn't happening? Apparently the Mania devs and Sega did have talks about making a sequel, but talks fell through. You think Sega would fight harder to keep the devs, but nope. So Sega spoke with Naoto Oshima and Arzest to create a new 2D Sonic game.
Arzest was a game company who had great experience under their belt. Glad to see the follow-up to Sonic Mania was in good hands. All jokes aside, with the last review John did, and with the ones I helped him with, we gushed over that amazing retro engine. Trailers for Superstars showed that Sega was emulating Sonic Mania's physics as best as they could. Because of it, Sonic Superstars seemed like a recipe for success. Not only that, but look at the 3D graphics. Is Sonic Superstars the true Sonic Mania sequel we've all been hoping for? Let's pop the game in and let's find out. Seeing as this is a classic Sonic game, the story should be super simple. Let us go over it.
On the North Star Islands, Dr. Eggman goes to enslave these overweight animals. Eggman is also searching for the Chaos Emeralds for world domination.
World domination!
As always, glad to see nothing has changed. To conquer the island, Eggman hires returning character Fang.
Fang the Sniper.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Fang the Hunter.
No, you're talking about Knack the Weasel.
No, hold on. Let's look up the wiki. No, it says right here, Jet the Jerboa. The fuck's a Jerboa?
Why is this franchise so confusing? They can't even keep the name right, dude.
In reality, Sega made his name Fang the Hunter, with all the other names being fake aliases since he's a criminal. But Eggman also gets help from an island resident called Trip the Sungazer.
She doesn't look evil to be honest, but Eggman looks for the emeralds and focuses on this dragon mural. Enter Sonic and his superstars. Across the journey, Fang tries to stop you with Trip by his side. Trip always ends up either being clumsy or helping Sonic. By Lagoon City, Trip falls into one of her own traps with Amy rescuing her.
That's my girl. She's such a sweetheart.
The gang then presses onward, collecting the Chaos Emerald across the zones, and by Golden Capital, Knuckles finds this door showing... what the hell is that?
It looks like a dragon. It might be Spyro, but if you don't have the emeralds by now, for the sake of the story, Knuckles will find the last ones, with Fang easily stealing them from him. In the next stage, you fight Fang and defeat him. Trip, being harassed by the dude, decides that enough is enough. She takes off her armor and uses the emerald to transform into a golden dragon, destroying the Fang robot in one hit. Cap as hell, man.
Bullshit. She's kinda cute though. But the emeralds are then returned to Sonic, with the group moving forward. Eventually they reach Frozen Base, stealing an Eggomatic from whatever game the crew debuted in, and head off to the new Space Fortress. The gang goes through the final zone, and by Act 2 the stage is now in reverse, which is pretty cool.
Everyone then catches Eggman and fights his final robot creation. Sonic and his friends defeat the robot, and the game ends with them flying back down to the North Star Island. After beating the main story, you then have Trip's story, which happens sometime during the main story. It's harder because she traverses all the same zones and even fights Fang, so this all must be happening after she turns good. But she escapes the final zone with everyone, so that means the stories both happen at the same time. That doesn't make sense. She would still be on Eggman's Empire side, right?
This is confusing, but not just that. If you collected the Chaos Emeralds and beat Trip's story, you unlock the last story.
That's awesome. We're doing it Sonic Adventure style now.
in the last story, you see a fucking dragon get summoned from a portal and then Super Sonic fights the thing?
What? Where did he come from? What the heck is this?
Carlos, I think I finally figured out the story for Sonic Superstar. Take a look at this. So I'm... let me understand. So here's Sonic in the game. They go to stop Eggman. Eggman hires this piece of shit to do stupid shit, and they find Trip. Now Trip, she's a resident of the stupid islands, alright? So basically what happens is these motherfuckers get the emeralds, and then Knuckles he finds a shrine or something, I don't know, and it shows a dragon, right? That this motherfucker said was important, and then it becomes important with the Chaos Emeralds and shit. But then Trip with the emeralds, he becomes a good guy, and she's no longer evil. Don't ask me how that works, it just does, alright? And then this motherfucker gets summoned, maybe it's Spyro, I'm not sure, but this purple fucking dragon is somehow put into the goddamn game, but it popped up because of the emeralds, and this man wanted it. So yeah, I think I finally get the story. And somehow Trip is good and evil at the same time, and somehow does her whole ass adventure at the same fucking time. So yeah, did you get all that? I think I finally understood the story.
John, what's going on with you, man? I don't like that look in your eye, man.
Yeah, Morales helped me make the whiteboard. So did your fiance.
Morales? What do you mean? He's not coming till later.
He's holding the whiteboard for me. Like, oh shit.
You okay, man? We need to phone a therapist.
Sorry. Anyways, after fighting the dragon, Trip and Sonic seal it with them saving the North Star Islands, ending the story of Sonic Superstars. God, this story sucks. It's confusing, which is like, wait, what? How do you mess that up? Let me rephrase that. The overall story, Sonic and the crew saving the day, that's fine. Amy befriending Trip and joining the crew is great. The dragon coming out of nowhere makes no sense. Classic Sonic games are usually simple. Even if there is deep lore, it would be simple, but here it feels like they wanted to do more but somehow feels limited.
I agree. What happened here? This story was confusing in a classic Sonic game. These should be the easiest games to make a clear story for. I mean, look at games like Sonic 3 and Sonic Mania. Those are great, nothing too complex, but also not as simple. Here, it starts off fine and then ends up being confusing. Not only that, but the characters don't talk. I mean, I get it. Classic Sonic never talked, but there were times in these cutscenes where the characters looked like they wanted to talk, but couldn't. In my personal opinion, this game's story would have benefited with a bit of dialogue, especially with the path the story takes with the last story. But again, I understand why the dialogue wasn't included. That being said, the overall story is alright. It could have been better, but it's a classic Sonic game. Let's see if the gameplay makes up for it, and let's see if it surpasses Sonic Mania's spectacular level design.
Oh please, Sonic Mania was perfection. It's gonna take a lot to convince me that they could recreate that.
So beautiful.
Sonic Superstars takes the physics of Sonic Mania and gives the game a whole new look. It's basically just 3D graphics, kind of like Sonic Generations classic Sonic levels, just with better physics. Way better physics. In this game, you can play as a few characters, each with their own special abilities. Let's start with Sonic. He is almost exactly the same as he was in Sonic Mania. His special ability is still the drop dash, which is still my fucking favorite. It can really help with speedrunning, and since Sonic Mania, this has been one of my favorite new additions. Again, it's my fucking favorite. Tails is almost exactly the same as from the classics. He can fly for a short period and swim underwater, but Superstars gave him some improvements. Now when flying, he can make the kid fly downwards faster. Hey, it's a simple addition, but it's a welcome one for sure.
A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
Knuckles was also included in the adventure. He is exactly the same as the classics though. Exactly the same. So now for the superstar of the show, my girlfriend Amy.
Carlos, you're getting married.
I know, man, I was just kidding. Anyway, Amy Rose is my personal favorite character in this game, and the whole franchise. Not only does she have a double jump, but she has her trusty Pico Pico hammer. With it, she can give herself an insta-shield of some sorts. Also, if you hold the jump button as you land, she will swing that hammer aggressively. The reason I love her in this game so much is her double jump. With it, you can speedrun like a champ and take lots of shortcuts. Also, she's adorable. I love you, Amy. Anyway, even though these four characters are basically what we get in classic Sonic games, this game introduces a new character to the Sonic franchise. Boss, you would like her a lot considering you like shy girls. Oh, if only she had glasses.
Yeah, shy girls with glasses are cool, but I think she's more adorable than anything. Anyway, now we have Trip the Sun Gazer, brand new character introduced in Sonic Superstars. So, Trip plays exactly to the core foundation of the characters, but has her own unique abilities. For starters, she has Amy's double jump, minus the hammer shield, and she can cling onto walls and ceilings, kind of like Knuckles mixed with the Spike Wisp. By holding the jump button after double jumping, you can cling onto surfaces. She is literally a combination of Amy and Knuckles. It's cool, but you have to beat the game to unlock her and her story, but we'll get to that later. Oh, we'll get to that later.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to.
Carlos, we have to. This is a review.
Alright, later. Right now, we gotta talk about the level design. Overall, the level design here is alright. It's better than Sonic 4's and Sonic Force's level design, that's for sure. But that isn't really saying much. It actually starts off pretty good, but as you play through the levels, it gets worse and worse. Not only are there some parts that require you to slow down, but some levels even make it a gimmick to slow you down, and even put you through an automated section where you have no way of skipping it. This definitely isn't Sonic 3's or Sonic Mania's level design. Hey John, Sonic Mania is your favorite classic Sonic game. What are your opinions on the level design here?
No. This level design is honestly a step down compared to Sonic Mania. In Sonic Mania, levels were designed so fucking perfectly that even returning levels when compared to the original versions just didn't compare. I mentioned this in my Sonic 3 and Knuckles review. The returning levels were done so much better, removing 4 slow sections. While Sonic 3 was great, I prefer mostly in Mania because of 4 slow sections. While this game starts off so promising, the levels near the end tend to drag so fucking much, and having level design that forces me to slow down no matter what route I take, I hate that. It makes me sad because it started great and showed promise to surpass Mania only for it to make these stupid little mistakes. But some levels are great, which is a shame, but it also adds other stuff too, like boss fights.
Man, they suck balls, and not in a good way. What the hell, who wrote this? Anyway, the bosses take forever to beat, and that's because of one dang reason. When you hit a boss, they essentially get invincibility frames, meaning there is a period of time where you cannot harm them. That means that you'll have a waiting period after each hit in a Sonic game. Think of it like the Sonic Rush boss fights, where you are waiting for an opening in order to hit the boss. That extends the boss fights to a degree where it actually hinders the experience of the game as a whole, especially since almost every level has a boss at the end of them. Now, imagine them adding a few more hits to the bosses and making the bosses tougher. Trip's story does exactly that. These boss fights are just not fun, and in levels like Frozen Factory Act 1, this makes me not want to play anymore. But if you want the true ending, you pretty much have to, because you won't unlock the last story until you beat the main story, Trip's story, and get all 7 Chaos Emeralds. It wouldn't be too bad if we could just spam hits like we could in the classic Sonic games, and we haven't even mentioned the last 2 boss fights.
This boss sucks! Who thought this was good boss design? Hell, the dragon fight at the end isn't even that good of a boss either. Having you homing attack something that you don't know about and is never explained to you. With it just not being that fun. It's really the same with the final boss from the main story. It sucks, but that's not even the worst boss. Man, fuck this stupid motherfucker. This Fang robot is terrible! The boss has attacks that can instant kill you. It takes for fucking ever to do any fucking damage to them. And he has so much fucking bullshit before you can even hit him. And bullshit like this can happen. No, that's horseshit! I hit them! He should be dead! I fucking hit him!
Seriously, I absolutely hate these frickin' boss fights. The dragon boss fight takes forever. Do not die in the end, because if you do, your time will be wasted. And Lord knows we don't have enough time in life. And the Fang boss fight, god damn. Not only was I super pissed off, but holy crap, the amount of time that is just wasted when you die at the very end of the boss fight. Jesus Christ, this is terrible boss design. You could easily spend hours on this guy just retrying and retrying, and the one hit kills are such bullcrap, especially when you get hit near the end. You may think you're getting close to beating him, and then you make a simple mistake that costs you the whole fight, and now you have to retry the entire fight over again. Even as the Saint of Time, I don't got time for this crap. I was absolutely pissed the hell off my first time fighting Fang, especially when crap like this happened.
What? That's fucking horseshit. What the fuck, man?
When I finally beat him, you could tell from my reaction that I was pissed.
Burn in fucking hell, you motherfucker.
You stupid fucking backstabbing piece of shit!
God, fuck these bosses. What can make these boss fights easier though are the Chaos Emeralds. So when entering the special stages, you are warped to these dimensions where you steal the grappling hook from Sonic Boom, but you know it's way faster, and the Chaos Emeralds are on a set path, and the characters must use the grappling points to go get the emerald. A timer will be decreasing that can be filled with rings. You have bombs that you can use to get close to the emerald, just don't get too close or you'll blow up. You got these slingshots that send you flying towards the emerald, walls that can block the path, and once you close in on it, you can grab that emerald.
Aw yeah, we're doing it Spider-Man style. These special stages are really simple and easy, but they're really fun in my opinion. Sometimes it's cool to see how fast you can grab the emerald. The only one that wasn't really all that easy was Special Stage 5, which had more of an emphasis on vertical movement. Since the emerald goes in circles though, as long as you have enough rings, just camp in one spot and catch it when it's getting closer. Each emerald gives you a special ability after you've collected it. The blue emerald gives you the avatar power-up, which summons all these clones of your character to attack enemies, or in everyone's case, to make bosses go by quicker. The red emerald gives you the bullet power-up, which is like the burst whisk from Sonic Colors DS. This is used to dash an infinite number of times, and again, to attack bosses and make them go by faster.
The cyan emerald gives you the water ability. This is mostly used when there's a waterfall or when you are underwater. If you're under a waterfall, you can use this power-up to travel up the waterfall. If you're underwater, this power-up lets you swim freely. This power-up can also be used to not get crushed. Most people don't ever talk about this. I don't know why. It can be very... Okay, well, besides that spot, the power-up is there. It can help you. It exists. The green emerald gives you the vine ability, which creates a vine to traverse upward with the directions influencing the movement, you know, if you already used the red emerald. The purple emerald gives you the ability vision, which can just show you hidden rings and platforms. Most of the time I use it when the game tells me I can. Other than that, meh. It's pretty much the sunglasses power up from Sonic Adventure 2. The yellow emerald allows you to slow down time, and unlike secret rings, the crew isn't slowed down by it, and can be perfect for certain sections to slow down obstacles.
The white emerald is a bit different from the rest, as it grants everyone a unique ability. For Sonic, it grants him the homing attack. It can be decent for bosses. Tails has the spin projectile and Knuckles has a punch ability. My girl Amy has her hammer throwing ability, which is also great for taking down bosses. They can all prove useful against enemies and bosses. When you remember the power-up exists, personally I hardly ever use these power-ups. It's honestly kind of pace-breaking since they slow you down just a bit. They're most useful in getting past the dang bosses faster though. What do you think, John?
Meh.
What do you mean, meh?
Meh.
That's what I think anyways. I only ever use it for bosses. I don't think most of them are that pace breaking though. Bullet especially just lets you keep going. The emerald powers are cool, but some of them are way more useful than others. You aren't required to use any of them though, which is great because that means they really are power-ups instead of necessities. The one thing I don't like about Superstars Emeralds is the fact that you can only get one emerald per zone. That's dumb. Let me get as many emeralds as I can because getting the medals for the multiplayer shop, I don't care for.
Why the heck are we limited to one emerald per zone? After getting an emerald, you can see more of the special stage rings, but since you are limited in this game, they appear blue, meaning you've already gotten the emerald for that zone. That completely makes exploring the levels a lot less fun in my opinion. Who cares about the multiplayer shop? I mean, it's cool that you can fight your own creation, but other than that, I couldn't care less about that aspect of multiplayer. Hey guys, Saint of Time from the future here. Rewinding a bit, me and the boss forgot to mention the bonus stages. Inspired by special stages from Sonic 1, these appear over checkpoints when you have enough rings. They get you more medals for the character customization shop. I have a note here of what me and the boss agreed to say. It exists. Yeah, nothing too special. Anyways, let's continue. You know what else some people could care less about? The music.
What happened?
Fuck, man, what happened? Where's the T-Lopes music? Sometimes it's there with the tracks T-Lopes composed, or some of the songs that other musicians composed. Lagoon City Act 2, Bridge Island Act 1 and 2, Pinball Carnival, and Cyber Station sound so good. But then you have tracks like Press Factory that are just, they're just gross.
As someone who didn't mind the Sonic 4 music all too much, they definitely did not need to go back to this type of music. Once you hear that drum snare, you already know who the composer is. He can do so much better if he didn't limit himself. If he used the same melodies and tunes but used different instruments, this soundtrack would be great. Other than the instruments, I like a lot of these songs. Lagoon City Act 2, both Bridge Island songs, Sky Temple, and heck, I even like Press Factory Act 2's music. If only it used better instruments.
This game music is not the best, making me wish classic Sonic's music should only be composed by T-Lopes and the rest of the composers, just not June. But this game also has an identity issue. It was advertised as a multiplayer-centric game, but when we played the multiplayer, you could tell they didn't put much effort into the fucking multiplayer. We played it multiple times, and yeah, it didn't really feel as if it was intended to be that way. Game would glitch, people felt like they couldn't do shit, and overall, it's whatevs. With 2 people, it's not too bad, but still amazing. Honestly, what was the point of the multiplayer? It doesn't feel like it was needed.
Multiplayer here sucked. The camera could not make up its mind on who to follow, and it's very clear that this was not play tested all too much. This is a mode I won't be touching anymore. Overall, I enjoy this game when playing the main story mode. There I can tolerate the bosses, but even then I'm still using the emerald powers to try to skip them. The Golden Capital boss sucks balls though. It takes forever. Anything after the main story I will not even touch. Trip's story is annoying, and I absolutely hate the last story. The bosses literally drag this game down for me, and this is sad because the game had so much potential. Overall, I think the game is alright. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. At this point, it's literally just meh. Even the super forms, I didn't really use all that much. I mean, Sonic turns into Super Sonic and yeah, makes the bosses faster. I mean, the coolest one is Trip because she turns into a dragon. That's pretty cool, but I don't know, I didn't really use it all that much. Going back to what we asked earlier, is this game the true sequel to Sonic Mania? Nah. What are your opinions, John?
You know, when the game first came out, I was ecstatic because finally, we had potential for the next Sonic game to beat Sonic Mania. As I got to Strip's story, I started not enjoying the game and went back to replay the main story. More problems would appear, and it just made me not feel that great. I remember when Carlos was telling me about it, and he liked the game too, but just like me, the more time that passed, the more issues both him and I noticed. It's sad that it's been 7 years and still Sonic Mania has a superior level design and just superior gameplay overall. Level design is so important. It's a shame because I think Superstars was the necessary step forward to make the engine from Sonic Mania with these beautiful graphics. But that doesn't mean anything if the levels and bosses are not great. They're one of the main aspects of the game and I'm not having fun. It starts off really strong in the early levels, but just starts plummeting downwards towards the end of the adventure. In my opinion, Sonic Superstars is alright, it is fine, but when comparing it to Mania, it's so disappointing. If you plan on getting this game, buy it at a discounted price because honestly, I still have more fun going back to Sonic Mania than I do Superstars.
Man, it kind of sucks seeing this game make a few small mistakes in comparison to Mania.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe they'll learn from their mistakes. This has a foundation to even surpass Sonic Mania. It just made tiny mistakes. You know, I've heard that sometimes in order to take a step forward, you have to take a step back. So maybe the next one will surpass Sonic Mania.
Yeah, you're right. You know what, man? I know what game you can play next.
Word?
Yeah. Crash Bandicoot.
Oh. I actually heard a lot about this from people in high school. I don't know if you remember them. They said these games are really, really good. I'm excited to try it.
Yeah, I really like them personally.
Okay.
Just do me a favor and finish the Sonic Frontiers review before we start that one.
Alright, for sure. I will.
What should we do now?
I don't know. I have an idea though.
Let's hit the quitty.
Alright guys,
You ready?